Alright, I'm going to use this old gear off the snowblower. I'm hoping to get a couple, a couple sets of weights, my governor weights. I figure, well, I'll use it. So, what I've got is, I stuck a mandrel in there. I just so happened to have a mandrel with a 750 little spud on the end. And if I do this right, I should be able to cut this off and get rid of that keyway. And anyway, we'll see. Whoop. So we'll stick this on here. I gotta get I think that's a 3/8 bolt. I'm moving my stuff around and now I don't know what drawer it is label. Half-inch bolts. Create some back. All right. Need a fairly short one. I don't got all long ones here. That's the size. Here we go. And now I need a washer. It's probably still too long. I think we'll be all right. No wrenches over here. And let me guess, that's the one that's laying somewhere. Shifter into low range here. So we can get her good and tight. There we go. Now we can shift her back up. That looks good. Yeah. Probably get a different tool. Oh, this one should work. I want to go to 1 inch and a half. 1 inch 500 is what I want to go to. So, I'm not sure where these are at. We're at 800. So we'll take couple hundred off. I don't think it's going to be a big enough diameter. Now looking at it now. What's the bottom of the where it's messed up? Oh, it's be dang close. It will be close. So where are we at now? Take another 200 off of it and see where we're at. Hey, it all cleaned up. All right. Like I say, I want to go to an inch and a half. Around that anyway. And we are at 1 inch 5/10. So I'm going to take 30 thou off of that yet. It actually calls out 1 inch 460. So, and we're at 480. So I could take another 20 off of it. Could take another 10. I'm gonna leave it like 10 thou heavy. Then I'm going to get a part off blade and get in the center and go part way through. I naturally can't go all the way through because I'm holding it with on a mandrel. So, and there's a ring, like a grease ring, or I don't know what it's there for, but that I'm going to leave. That's not. I'm going to put that up against the flywheel. Deburr the edges a little bit. All right. Now. Now I want to take a part off tool and those are supposed to be supposed to be 187 wide. I could clean this up on the side, although, like I say, that's not going to matter. So what I'm going to do is touch 93 thou part off blade. I'm going to touch, and then I'm going to go 100 over, I just seen my gauge, my travel dial. Must be a chip down underneath here. One of those little chips got in there. Touch again. And then I'm going to go 100. And then I'm going to go 187, so I am going to go, I'm debating on whether to take it to 200. If it's a little longer, a little wider, will it matter? No, it won't matter. It just would be a little more weight swinging around, which would mean a little bit lighter spring, and it would be a little bit more sensitive. So, do I want to make it more sensitive? Yeah, I do. So I'm going to go 100. I'm going to go 200. I'm going to make them 200 thou wide. So. And it's 1 inch 500, so 1 inch 500s, and it's 750 diameter on the inside. So that means I have 750. I have 375. So I'm gonna go 250 in. Actually, I'm going to go 300 in. And that should be, if I go 300 from 1 inch, am I thinking this through right? No, I'm not. 1 inch 500, and I want to go to 750, so it'll be 750. God, so I should be able to go in 700 now. No. That 1 inch. Why am I not thinking right this morning? 1 inch 500 right there, and I want to go like to 700. So it'll be 800,000. Let me get a pencil and paper. See if I can figure this out. It's something so simple. You guys are probably laughing. So we're at 1 inch 500 on the diameter. Actually, it's 1 inch 4, but we're just going to say for, and that's 750. Well, I'm not. Why am I thinking half of it? It's not. It's the full diameter because my dials read full. So if I want to go to 750, it'll be 750. And if I want to take it and leave 50 thou, 25 thou on each side, I want to go 700 thou in. Duh. All right, let's see if that works out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to feel the keyway. 6. That's 600 thou in. So that would leave it a wall thickness of 150, 75 thou. I'm going to leave it right there, part it off, and then we'll work on. Alright, so now I want to measure this one. I don't remember what the total width of that was. That's pretty close to 200. And this one is at 350, so I want to go over 150. 150. Then we go in again. Ow, not hot. Alright, well, let's take it out of there, and then I'll just bandsaw them the rest of the way. That's my lock wrench. Too low. A little bit slow this morning. I can look in the keyway, I can see that there isn't much left to take out of there. Wish I had a way of, well, I could put it in a 3-jaw. If I put the 3-jaw on and then go in and try to part it. Or I can leave it like this too and mill my flats across there first. I might do that. And then I'll only have just that little bit to cut. Yep. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it in this, and then I'm going to mill the flats across there. Be a flat across here and a flat across there. All right, let's move over to the mill. Okay. So, we're going to put a 3/4 inch 2-fluter in. Find one. Short one. Alright. 3/4 4-flute then. If I can find a short one. I want a short one. This one here will work. Change colors. Tighten that up. You know, I kept saying I was going to work on the weights, and I just kept putting it off. Finally going to do it, huh? Loosen this up. I'm going to get a parallel in there, a shorter one. sticking up that high. And then I want to make sure I get that up toward the top, because I want to cut that off the keyway, basically. Like that. And so we want to end up with a 950 across there. And we're at 1 inch 500. And we want to go to a 950. So that would be 550, 225, 225,000 down from the top. So we'll come over here, lock it, and get over top of it, and I'm going to get a piece of paper. Put some paper in there. And I'll come down until I cut the paper. Until I grab the paper here. I'll be getting close. There we go. Yeah, now we want to go 225. I'll go 200. I'll go 200 right now. Not going to clean that up, is it? 25. I was hoping that it would get rid of that. Oh yeah, it gets a cut through here too. Duh. So this is just the beginning of it. Where's my brush? So now we can load it down on the parallel. Square it first. See, here's the, like it's a grease ring in it, but that'll just go up against the flywheel, and it just looks like a design, and it's not going to hurt anything. Not going to bother. So, I don't know if I'm going to have enough room. Oh yeah. I'll take my stop out of the way. And we'll go 200 again. 1, 2. and then we'll see where we're at. Now it should be symmetrical to the hole, and we are at 1 inch 20, and we want to go to 950. So that's 70. So 35 thou more on each side. So we'll put this back in there. Go 35. And we'll and take her up another 35. And we should be at 950. Right on. Right on the mark. All right. Looking good. Like I say, this would have been just scrap aluminum or scrap brass, but I don't throw that kind of thing away. I found use for this pretty quick. Well, brass is a little on the spendy side when you buy it, so make use of every little chunk you have. So now I'm going to switch to a smaller end mill, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to buzz through the first side here and get my dimension. Basically, I should put my stop back on so I can butt up against, get the dimension across one leg, and then I can just flip it and get the dimension on the other leg. Flip it, and then I want to put a piece of paper, or I'm going to use a business card, and to clamp it, because what that does is it cushions and clamps both sides, just in case, one side would have been deburred or filed a little more than the other side, or it helps hold parts that are close together, and if they're not way out here and they're close together, you could have one come loose on you. And the way to get around that is to put put a business card. You'll see. I'll show you. Now watch, it won't work. Now that I said that, I want my stop with a bigger leg. Want a little longer leg on this side to reach down. There we go. That should work. Putting that up. We might have to, I don't know, we might have to raise the part up a little bit. I'm not sure. We'll push it up against the stop, clamp it, change end mills. I think I'm going to use a 3/16. Take this out, get an end mill, push it away. Get a 3/16. I'm going to use a 3/16 4 which is a 3/8 cod. Now I want to just check something here. Just make sure my vice jaws are on the same plane or close to. Just checking to see if my vice jaws, one's not higher than the other when I'm clamping. Actually, the movable is a little lower than the. So we can come over here. I'm gonna double the paper up. It's telephone book paper. Double that up. Come down on it. Lock. And now I should be able to come over here and come through there. All right, and that we want to have there's no dimension on that, so these ways I don't see a dimension on it. Nope, I don't have it. They do not have a dimension. That is not dimension. Oh, wait a minute. 124. It's another one of those dimensions you got to calculate out. I hate drawings. I hate drawings that are like that. You know, it's when you could pull up a drawing and look at it to build something, you should be able to just look at that drawing and build it without adding, subtracting, and figuring something out. So the distance, center line out to that, out to the pin, is 392. And subtract 124 from that is 8, 6, 268. 268, subtract that from 730, $472. Yeah, kind of. I'll show you what I mean. All right, you look at this drawing. There is no dimension from here out to here. Whether, you know, even if it is critical from center line out, at least give a dimension from here out to that. Instead, I had to figure out, okay, what's this pin at from center line? So it's 784 across the two, so I had to take half of that, so that gives me a distance from there to there, and subtract that, the 124 from the pin to that edge. So okay, so now I got a dimension from there to there, subtract that from half of the overall. It's just, you know, as you know, when I was drafting, I tried to make it so you didn't have to calculate anything, because it just leaves room for error. Especially if you're doing it in CAD, it's just a click for you. and then you don't have that error possibility. Okay, so I'm trying to grab the edge of this, and we are at 600. And what did I say we wanted to go to? 472. So I'm going to go to 500 across there. And right now we are at 6, so I'm going to move over 100 thou. Put that in there. Zero my X. Move over 100. And then I'm going to lock it, because that's where we're going to make them. Flip it around. I'll do the other side. It's so close to cleaning up to into the 750 diameter, but I can just hit it with a file and it'll be gone, the little lip. So now I just want to make sure that I run the file over it. Brush out the chips. And this is where you're going to use a card. So you put that in there, and I'm going to go get a business card. It's just one of my old business cards that I had when I was working. So we just take that, loosen that up, and stick it down in there. And that way, when you tighten it up, it's kind of like a cushion. It gives you clamping power on both parts, both halves. You'll be able to go through there and not have to move. Ta-da! Now I got two halves. I take and loosen it up. We were required to hand out our business cards to our vendors and stuff, so they knew who to get a hold of for selling purposes or whatever. Alright, so now we just got a short piece that we can put in there, loading on that bottom flat. Slide it up against that. And we'll lock her down. There we go. Now, I'm debating on whether, well, I can put the holes in for the pins before I take it apart on both of them, and then I can drill the hole for the flush head screw. And what I'll do is I'll drill halfway through from this side, flip it, drill it halfway through from this side instead of going all the way through. So we got this little lip here. Should be able to just hit this with a file, knock that off pretty quick. Gone. It's already gone. So Didn't take much to get that. Let's get rid of that. Oh, which do we want to do first? Probably put this hole in here, the pinhole. I'm not sure what size pin. I think it was 62. It's just a spring. It's just for hooking the spring onto 93, so I can use some more of my 93 stock. I'll deburr the other one. Because then I'll just take on the lathe when I make those pins, those little tiny pins. All they are is a pin that'll press into there and has a little groove to hook the spring on, the governor spring. RPM regulator, whatever you want to call it. All right. Okay, so now we want to go and pick up the sides, and now instead of loading them this way, I'm going to load them this way so I can load up my stop up against that, just like that. Just want to make sure that I got 200 on both of them. Actually, 187, because if I go 200, it might be a little thick. So I might go, pretend like it's 187 anyway. So that all the extra material is sticking on the outside. Yes, I definitely want to do that. So we'll just pretend that this is 187 and we'll come out 93 thou. Right? 93.5. Slide it up there, lock her down, drop the knee down. Break the end mill out. Put the end mill away. Got a bad habit of not putting things away. I'm trying to police myself. Alright, 1/2 inch collet. When I was at work, naturally I put things away because I didn't want people using it and doing this to your stuff, putting marks down it. I had this for many years, and one day I left it out. A co-worker on another shift used it, and this guy was just horrible. He was not careful about anything, and he put marks in the jig board table, he put marks in the grinding table. He was not a good machinist at all. So anyway, that's another story. That's a story in itself. Alright, so we're going to come down and we're going to pick up this edge. Yeah, unlock my X. Come into this. And until we touch. Come on, touch. There we go. Bring her up, zero my Y, move in 100, Actually 193. And then I'll zero it. And then 0. And then we'll move out a little bit and come over and touch the back edge. In a little more. There we go. And we'll come over and touch. Move up. And that, it was 100 and something, I believe. 124. So we zeroed it. No, we didn't zero my X. And we'll move over 100 or 100. Actually 200 and what did I say? 24? 224. Oops, went by it. Have I said lately? I like my readout. I was always thinking, oh, I don't need that. I can read the dials. Because I got used to reading the dials. And I got this readout now. I'm not going back to reading dials. It makes it so much easier and quicker. All right. Move my Y back to 0. And I'm going to lock everything down then. Because that's where all of them will be drilled at. Lock that down. Lock my X down. Get a center drill. Center drill. And we'll come down to the hole right there. And get a drill. 93. We're going to drill a 93 hole, so I'm going to go with a 186. Get a 193 reamer, or not a 193, a 93 reamer. Got a 94.5. Well, I think that'll work, and I'll just Loctite them in. I'm going to put the drill all the way up in the chuck, so I can set a stop for depth here too. And I like using this old Joe block. And I'll turn my quill stop down and put this in between. Because I don't want to go real deep with these. Just deep enough to hold that pin in place. There we go. Just deep enough to hold that pin in place. What do they call out? They're calling it out 3/16 deep. I think I'm going to go an 1/8 inch deep only. Okay, so we come down with the Joe block in there. I'll back you up here. Okay. And what I got is I've got a Joe block, and I come down and I touch the drill on there, and I set it with a Joe block in between, and the drill touches. So now I can raise it up and then raise my knee. 100. I'm going to go 130. So now I can come down on that and drill. I come down on the Joe block and drill that depth. 130 deep. Actually, I might go 150. Reason I'm doing that is because of the long point on the reamer. Stick the reamer in there. Hopefully I got room, yep. Take the jaw block out. I'm just going to go to the bottom of the hole. And there's one. I'm gonna get my air hose and just give it a little spritz. All right. And then flip it over. Oop. Slide it up against the stop. And do it again. Now, without the jaw block in there, I can get down there with my short center drill. Take that out. Put my drill in all the way. Put my jaw block in there. Reamer in. Take my jaw block out. Well, there's two. Now, when we want to do the other side, we'll set up again. Our Y will be all right. We just turn it around, put the stop on the other side, and pick up for our X, and then we'll put the other side in. So that's what I'm doing right now. And then when I do the hole for the arm, I'll get to the center here. I'll swing that in. Drill the hole, flip it, drill the hole, and then do the same thing on the other one. And I'll be back when I get them all sawed and drilled and cleaned up, and I'll show you what they look like.